Greetings. This is the weekly forecast commencing on Monday, January the 1st, 2024. And Happy New Year. This is a big week because on Monday the 1st, Communication Mercury goes direct. And by Thursday, Mars, ambitious, assertive Mars, moves into its best sign, its exalted sign of Capricorn, until February the 12th. But before I break down what's happening each day, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. And if you go into the description box underneath the video, you'll find a link that will take you right to my website, or you can book an astrology reading or inquire about my 2-question offer. All right, let's start with Monday, January the 1st. Mercury is now direct, but on New Year's Eve, Mercury was stationary. Planets, before they go retrograde or direct, they slow down till they stop. It's all an optical illusion before changing directions. It's called stationary. So on January the 1st, now the Mercury, it's the first day of it slowly moving back to its regular speed. So our mental faculties are still sluggish, still slow, still maybe second guessing. It takes roughly 2 weeks for Mercury to get back to its regular speed. This is called the shadow period. And when the mind isn't as adaptable and flexible and as sharp as it can be. But the Mercury is now starting to move forwards, which is a good thing. A time to clean up any mistakes, any misunderstandings. But relationships and finances may be very much tested on Monday because Venus, the planet of relationships, love, and harmony. But Venus is also loves the finer things in life. Venus is also a planet associated with finances and money. So with relationships, Venus will be squaring or forming a hard angle of internal tension to restricted Saturn. Venus to Saturn, as Mercury is now starting to push forwards, could be we need to talk. We need to start clearing the air of what's not been said or where there might have been some misunderstandings. The positive of the love planet squaring Saturn on this really important day because of the retrograde, of Mercury no longer retrograde, that Venus to Saturn can be positive when one or both of you say to each other, we need to talk. We need to really get back on the same page and work on strengthening this relationship. That could be a good thing if both of you decide to start to take responsibilities, start working on the relationship. The other end of the spectrum would be that you're starting to realize, and again, we need to talk, now that Mercury's going direct, that you've tried everything, you were waiting for the holidays to be over, but we need to just end this relationship. If both of you want this relationship, this is a good cycle to begin working on it. But it can also be a realization to bring closure and let it go. That's the Venus representing relationships. But Venus also represents finances. And Saturn has a lot to do with business and security. It's a very pragmatic, logical energies. So when Venus is squaring, that's that 90-degree angle to Saturn, that could be the realization that you have to come up with a budget. or you have to start budgeting your monies, or you have to start figuring out all new ways of increasing your income. The Venus-Saturn can either, like with a relationship, that realization is it's the new year, I got to get focused, I got to get disciplined, and really working on a plan to make more money. Or the other end of that spectrum is the realization that that you've hit a wall. And the downside is you could get really depressed for the lack of money. But turn it around and make it an opportunity to make a plan to figure out how to change jobs or do a sideline business or anything to somehow look to the new year to start generating more income. On Tuesday, January the 6th, the moon is in Virgo. Now, on Monday, the moon was also in Virgo because the moon, which sets the public tone, goes from sign to sign every 2.5 days. The public tone of Virgo is sensible, it's practical, and it's an earth sign in harmony with the sun, which is in Capricorn now. So when the sun and the moon are in harmony, there's a lot more ease to achieving goals, to being able to communicate. But around mid-afternoon, Pacific time, this analytical and sometimes critical Virgo moon will be squaring or forming an internal conflict to impatient, irritable Mars. You might find yourself in 2-3 p.m. Pacific time feeling anxious, being irritable. Good thing to do is it's just Mars energy. You don't want the Mars to be beating you up. You want to channel it out. So if you're feeling emotionally irritable and anxious, go take a walk. Get the energy out of you. Be really great if you could have some a massage, having some body work done to get all that tension out of the body. So actually that would be a good time of the day to have some body work done. Now, at 4:47 p.m. Pacific time, the moon leaves analytical Virgo and goes into peacekeeping sociable Libra for 2.5 days. The public tone with Libra, it's more cooperation, it's more seeking harmony, peace. It's a very more compatible sociable energies. On Wednesday, as the moon continues in Libra, it's going to be in a square or tension to the Capricorn sun. But that's just early evening, nothing else going on for the day. But with the moon in Libra, it's feeling more relaxing, more cooperative. But in the early evening, Pacific time, the moon, which can represent our habits, our unconscious patterns, is in conflict with our identity, the sun. So this is on the downside, or one end of the spectrum. This can really bring up some old patterns that get you into this old rut. But here's an opportunity in the positive. The sun can bring light, bring awareness to your unconscious patterns, habits you just do automatically that you don't even realize it until it's over. So this could also be by Wednesday evening being very favorable for coming to have some more insight and awareness of some kind of limiting habits and patterns to start to let it go. On Thursday, January the 4th, Mars is going into Capricorn. Once every 2 years, it'll be in Capricorn till February the 12th. Capricorn is the exalted sign position for Mars. Mars goes through all the signs every 2 years, and the best cycle is when it goes through Capricorn. You see, Mars can be very abrupt and fiery and argumentative. The Capricorn keeps it disciplined, focused. So this background energy for the next 6 weeks with Mars in Capricorn, one can really accomplish their goals. You have more focus to accomplish your work projects. The moon continues in Libra, so there's this social harmony in the background. But mid-afternoon, the moon will be in harmony with communication Mercury that's slowly beginning to pick up speed. So in the mid-afternoon Pacific time, that moon Mercury could be very favorable for talking Mercury about your feelings, the moon. Whether this is talking to a friend or a loved one, or being in counseling. Could even be good if you're having along with a counseling session, an astrology session, because you can really tune in to your feelings and examine them. Now, this could be very favorable for having a meeting, for writing, for all forms of communications, but especially creative communications, so it says creative writing, speaking, talking. Mid-afternoon Pacific time. On Friday, January the 5th, now the moon is in Scorpio. When the moon was in Libra, it was, is everybody okay? It's very people-pleasing and seeking lots of harmony. That's not the case with the moon in Scorpio once a month. Scorpio is passionate. It's all or nothing. In many ways, it's like it's black and white. It's none of this caring about, is everybody comfortable? With the moon in Scorpio, it's just all that drive to achieve your goals. So it's very powerful energies with the moon in Scorpio. There's also could be a desire to be more private, more introspective. That's the moon in Scorpio. But around noon to 1 p.m. Pacific time, this intense Scorpio moon will be in harmony with pragmatic, organized Saturn. This could be very favorable for doing a lot of business Saturn, research Scorpio. Could be very favorable for having a business meeting where you're able to really have that confidence to really express your desires in a very practical, organized way. Later in the mid-afternoon on Friday, the moon, the emotional moon, will now be in opposition with expansive Jupiter. Opposition can have a certain amount of tension, but the opposition is always dealing with outside circumstances or other people. And with Moon Jupiter, there could be a lot of this bravado and optimism and just feeling really, really good and upbeat. But because of a certain amount of tension with the Jupiter, then the Jupiter can be overinflated, overindulged. But you're feeling really good. You just might be more inclined to eat too much, drink too much, spend too much, except you're really enjoying yourself going into a Friday evening. So the Friday evening could be really enjoyable, but moderation is the key to success. Saturday, as the moon continues in passionate Scorpio, it will be in harmony with the sun in Capricorn by late morning Pacific time. There's a lot of emotional harmony. Things flow more comfortably, more easily. But late afternoon Pacific time, going into a Saturday night, the moon will be in opposition to Uranus. Uranus, or the opposition, some other person, some outside event, with that Uranus energy could be this unexpected surprise or upset that creates a lot of emotional excitement on the positive, or too stressed out with this emotional upset. But there is an opportunity in that the moon has a lot to do with our emotional programming and our unconscious habits. And when that moon is being aspected by Uranus, Uranus is liberating. And so that moon Uranus, late afternoon going into the evening on Saturday, it could be a really exciting time. You may be feeling really jarred emotionally, but it's an opportunity to really let go of any limiting patterns. On Sunday, January the 7th, the moon's continuing in Scorpio, and by noon Pacific time will be in harmony with Pluto. Pluto rules the unconscious, the underworld, things that are hidden. Pluto rules or is associated with the sign Scorpio. So here's the emotional moon in Scorpio in harmony with Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio. This could be very favorable for research, going deep within, for introspection. By 1:09 p.m. Pacific time, the moon leaves more dark, more private, more introspective Scorpio and goes into fiery Sagittarius for those next couple of days. Sagittarius is adventurous, it's playful, it's so different from Scorpio, where Scorpio tends to be more brooding, more private, more secretive. That Sagittarius is very outgoing and friendly, and often can be a little bit too honest, too direct. But Sagittarius is a fire sign, and fire is hot and inspirational and exciting. I want to thank you for watching. If you'd like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next week, Happy New Year.